All right, shalom, boys. Here, welcome to the cup. Well, I want to talk about now. It's very important for the 3 or 4 business owners that I do know that are successful at businesses, because see, everybody that get up. I was listening to this joke podcast guy the other day. He was talking about how he bought leads for business. Obviously, there's a lot of people over the past couple of years that's gotten into contracting work, carpentry, and offering their businesses, to the greater public. And I think that's a good thing. But everybody doesn't have a business mind, even though they claim that they do. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to actually see the receipts. I want to actually see the successful business model. Because if anybody can say that they do business, that they have a business, but I like to say, where's your website? Where's your reviews? Because if you don't have that, where's the fruit of your business? Then you don't really have a business at all. You're just talking shit at the end of the day. But when it comes to building a business, you have to learn and understand how to build relationships. And if you know how to build relationships and know how to communicate effectively with clients, you're going to run a very, very successful business. Out here, I've had to overcome the color of my skin, because, I'm, as you can clearly see, I have dark skin or brown skin, and I live in the country. So therefore, I have to make sure that I know how to level up, and I know how to sit in front of a client, clearly articulate what it is that the service that I'm going to provide for them, how I'm going to provide for it, when I'm going to provide for them, and address their issues and concerns. And I can say confidently, I can do it with the best of them. If you put me next to someone else, and we're going after that same business, I guarantee you I can beat them out, because I know how to effectively communicate to clients or with clients. But that being said, you're starting off a business, and you may have good skills. You may have great skills, but if you don't know how to communicate and close business, it's like ABC, always be closing. It doesn't matter how good you can put up a roof or lay block or put in sheetrock. Doesn't matter any of that stuff. Because if you can't close, what point is it? But this guy was talking about the fact that he failed at business because, he was buying leads. And that automatically tells me that people today, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Now, the idea is this, and I wish, or I was hoped that when I started my business, that I had other Hebrew men that I can go to get guidance and counsel from. But unfortunately, there was no one that I knew of that I can go to and sit down and get counsel on how to execute on business, because nobody owns a business. At least that I know of. Let me preface that. At least that I knew of. There was nobody else that was running a successful business that I can go to get wisdom and knowledge and understanding from. So therefore, I had to learn these things for myself. But one of the things that I learned very soon on early and how to pivot was leads, buying leads. Now, did I do it in the past? Yeah, and I found out that just simply put, it just was not going to work. Why? Because lead service is just like any other thing. They're going to gouge you, and they're going to charge you $70, $80, $90 for a lead. And you don't know if you're going to get the business or not, because they're selling those leads to 50, 60, 70 other people in the area. And everybody's going for the same lead, and you don't know if you're going to be able to close on the business. And then you have this lead services where, you'll put $500 and they'll turn around and they'll sell you a whole bunch of bogus leads or $1,000, and they'll sell you a whole bunch of bogus leads, and they don't go anywhere. You call them up, and the client didn't really want it. They just clicked on the link just to see if they wanted just to go fishing, and you don't spend $50, $60, $70, $100, $150 for this lead, and it went nowhere. They didn't even return your phone call. And this is what happens with a lot of carpenters and contractors and people that's getting in business. They think it's maybe a good idea to start buying leads. Not so. Not so. It's important to understand that a lot of these companies, Porch, Angie's List, Home Advisor is the worst of them all. And they'll turn around and get you in debt and turn around and sue you for a whole bunch of leads that didn't work out or whatever, and now you in the hock with them. So don't buy leads. It's not a good business practice. What should you do? Good old-fashioned advertising. This is why it's so important too. And it's interesting because, when I started off with business cards. I started off with and that's what you could do too. You can turn around and you can put your business cards on the different boards in Tractor Supply, or your local hardware stores, your local grocery store, especially in small rural towns. You can still put your business cards up on these boards, and it doesn't cost you any money. You can put yard signs up. Another thing I do even to this day is, if it's a major traffic area, I go ahead and after I turn around and do some business, and I'll put a yard sign right out there so that a lot of clients can see it, and I'll get leads that way. I'll ask clients, hey, can you recommend stickers, things of that nature? Can you give out these business cards if you know anybody that needs work? I got somebody tomorrow that I got to do a quick project for, and I got that lead from a client that I did business with, and they was like, hey, I know this guy. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. So I ain't got to pay for leads like that. But if you have to pay for leads, billboards, if you can afford that, it's a good rate of return because it's a high visibility. So billboards going down highways, stuff like this. So I'm driving in between. Let's say if I'm driving in between Paducah and Murray, a lot of people go through those major intersections and those major roads. Like I'm on 45. They call it 45 right now, and that's a good place to place a billboard. It may cost you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, but hey, if you can land one kitchen remodel that's going to pay you $5,000, hey, that paid for that billboard. Another thing that you want to do is have a website. You want to do Google reviews, and you want to get in the algorithm, just like Facebook or just like YouTube. You get in the algorithm and you get a lot of views. It's the same thing with YouTube, or it's the same thing with Google Ads. You get into the algorithm, and then, you know what I'm saying, you have those keywords on your website. You build up your website, you get leads that way. But in addition to that, if you want to buy, because this is what these lead servicing companies do, what you can do is you can buy AdSense, for your business. And I've done that, and it costs I forgot what it costs. Probably like $30, $50 a day. But them leads, they work. They definitely work. You have to have an advertising budget. So there's some times where, I'll just get a call from a referral, or somebody just Googled it and went down through the different services and saw my 5-star reviews, and they turned around and called and, hey man, all the time, you know what I'm saying, $10,000 worth of business, just like that. So this is a good way of going about developing leads, developing the good relationships, AdSense, billboards, yard signs, business cards, boards inside of restaurants and hardware stores, developing good relationships with clients, and making sure that they give out extra business cards so they can, say, hey, this guy does good work, and so therefore, they'll recommend you through all of these different little avenues, yard signs. And before you know it, your phone just rings. It just rings. I've decreased my advertising budget because it's the point in time where people just call from word of mouth or repeat business. People saying, hey, you've done a good job, so I'm going to recommend you. They see the reviews. These are all ways that you can effectively generate business and get your name out there. The scriptures talk about a good name. And when you have a good name in your community and building relationships, I'm known locally. My business is known locally. My face is known locally. I receive honor and respect when I go out into my local community. My family receives honor and respect and praise when I go out in the community. So this is the kind of thing that you want to do. The fact that I'm a family man, I'll take my clients or I'll take my daughters or my sons to closing business to do consultations. And hey, they like the fact that you have well-managed children. These are all ways that I do. I leverage my family, the fact that I'm a family man, and they like that. They like doing business with men that are family men. I make sure I'm well grown. Now, I'm not against people that got long hair, or you know what I'm saying, or hair that this, that, and third. But it's a certain stigma behind that, tattoos and stuff like that. Make sure your teeth is well maintained. All of these things. It's easy for me to attack the competition. I tell clients all the time, if your teeth, if somebody's giving you an estimate and their teeth ain't right, then your business ain't gonna be right as well. The project ain't gonna be right, because if they don't take care of their teeth, they're not gonna take care of your home. And then the client say, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So these are the ways that I go about generating business, solidifying clientele. And let me tell you now, it's off to the races, man. It's just I'm an established business now. And this is not only that I'm an established business, but this is something that I can leave to my children. A good name, a good local name, a good reputation in the local community. And that's just worth its weight in silver and gold, man. But y'all stay blessed. That's how you close business. Stay away from lead generating services and companies. And do it yourself. Shalom.